This year's crop is heavy. Yes, the trees are full. We will fill many baskets today.
Day 1. This place looked impossible. A vast desert stretched to the horizon, dry sand, hot winds, no rivers, no shade. For more than 1,000 years, almost nothing had survived here. But a small team of farmers arrived with a strange plan. They wanted to grow avocados in the middle of the desert. The first step was not planting. The first step was changing the ground itself. Long trenches were carefully dug into the orange sand. Truck after truck delivered rich black soil. The dark soil was spread inside the trenches and mixed with natural compost. Next came the water system. Black drip irrigation pipes were placed along every trench. Each pipe was designed to release tiny drops of water directly into the soil. Not a single drop could be wasted in this harsh environment. Days later, healthy young avocado saplings arrived. Each small sapling was gently placed into the prepared soil. The roots were covered carefully. Water slowly dripped around every plant. At first, the tiny avocado saplings looked fragile against the endless desert, but something surprising was already happening beneath the surface. The roots began searching through the moist soil. The young plants started adapting to their new home. The desert was still dry, the sun was still fierce, but the first stage of an incredible experiment had officially begun. The first few weeks were critical. Every morning, the desert sun rose over the young avocado saplings. The heat was intense. During the day, temperatures climbed higher and higher. Hot winds swept across the dunes. The tiny trees faced conditions that would normally stop many plants from growing. But the drip irrigation system never stopped working. Drop by drop, water reached the roots hidden beneath the sand. Below the surface, something remarkable was happening. The avocado roots were growing deeper each day. Instead of spreading near the hot surface, the roots followed the moisture downward into the cooler soil. As the root system expanded, the young saplings became stronger. Soon, small fresh leaves began appearing at the tips of the branches. Bright green colors started breaking the endless orange landscape. Week after week, more leaves emerged. The saplings slowly became young trees. From a distance, thin lines of green could now be seen crossing the desert floor. The farmers inspected every tree carefully. Any damaged leaves were removed. Water levels were adjusted. The soil was checked constantly. Nothing was left to chance. By the end of the first growing season, the once fragile avocado saplings were standing taller and stronger. For the first time, the desert showed clear signs of life. And this was only the beginning. Months continued to pass. The young avocado trees were no longer struggling to survive. Their roots had reached deep into the prepared soil. Every day they absorbed water and nutrients hidden beneath the desert surface. The results were becoming impossible to ignore. The trunks slowly thickened. The branches stretched farther outward. Fresh leaves appeared again and again, creating larger crowns of green above the sand. As more trees matured, patches of shade began forming across the orchard. This was something the desert had rarely seen. The drip irrigation system continued delivering water with perfect precision. The farmers monitored every row carefully. They measured growth. They checked soil moisture. They protected the trees from pests and disease. The orchard became greener with every passing week. Then one morning, something new appeared. Tiny flower buds began forming near the ends of the branches. At first, they were almost impossible to notice. Small clusters emerged among the leaves. Day after day, the buds grew larger. The trees were preparing for the next stage of their journey. Soon, the desert would witness something few people thought possible. The first avocado blossoms were about to appear. The waiting was finally over. One morning, the first avocado flowers began to open. Small blossoms appeared across the orchard. They were not large or colorful. Many people would have walked past them without noticing. But for the farmers, these tiny flowers were a major milestone. Each blossom represented a possible avocado. Day after day, more flowers opened. Soon, thousands of small blossoms covered the branches. The green orchard looked completely different from only a few months earlier. The desert was now supporting a flowering avocado farm. But flowering alone was not enough. The flowers needed pollination. Tiny insects moved from blossom to blossom. Bees visited the orchard throughout the day. As they collected nectar, they carried pollen between flowers. The farmers watched carefully. Good pollination would determine how many avocados the trees could produce. For several weeks, the flowering continued. The branches became crowded with blossoms. Then a change slowly began. Some flowers started fading. Their petals dropped to the ground. At first glance, it looked like the flowering season was ending. But something much more important was happening. Deep inside the pollinated flowers, the first avocado fruits were beginning to form. The next stage had officially begun. The flowers had done their job. Now the trees faced a new challenge, growing fruit in the middle of the desert. At first, the young avocados were incredibly small. Many were no larger than a fingertip. They hung quietly among the leaves. From a distance, most people would not even notice them. But the farmers checked them every day. Not every young fruit would survive. Some naturally fell from the branches. This was normal. The trees were focusing their energy on the healthiest avocados. As the weeks passed, the remaining fruits slowly became larger. Their smooth green skins began to develop. The branches adjusted to the increasing weight. Meanwhile, the desert sun continued to test the orchard. Day after day, temperatures remained high, but the deep roots and drip irrigation system kept supplying water to the trees. The avocado orchard remained green. The fruits continued growing. Month after month, the small avocados became easier to see. What had once been tiny fruitlets were now clearly recognizable avocados. The farmers knew they were still far from harvest, but the most difficult stage was now behind them. For the first time, anyone walking through the orchard could see real avocados growing in the heart of the desert. The impossible was slowly becoming reality.